G'day, how the fuck are ya? Hope you're having a shit one. A little while ago, BMW gave me one of their M3s to take out for a photo shoot, and I found this cool little forest sort of area, and it was extremely foggy when I went. I'm actually gonna be making a POV video showing you how I shot all the behind the scenes photos of all these, but for this video, I'm just gonna show you how I got the photo from this before work, from this to this. Okay? That's what I'm doing. Okay, so I will warn you, I did edit this photo very strangely. I edited it very much back to front. I will try my best to explain the reasoning behind half the shit I decided to do to this image. I think for the most part, when I edit my photos, I just get into the zone, I just start moving sliders around, and then I just naturally go off what I think feels good for the edit, which I encourage people to edit that way. The first thing I like to do is set the color, or the colors I'm looking for, through the tone curve. If you notice on my final edit here, I have this like sort of pinky purple sky, which is what I was going for, mixed with this tealy light blue sort of color. And to do that, it's pretty simple. We're just gonna push the highlights of the image up towards the reds, and I'm gonna bring the shadows of the image down towards the blues. Next, I'm gonna come into the original tone curve that affects all the colors. I'm gonna bring my highlights down a bit here because it creates a sort of matte finish. Boost my highlights of my image here, and I'm also gonna bring my shadows down and add another anchor point in my shadows as well. And then I'm gonna bring this up, which adds sort of a little bit of fade and extra contrast into my image. I know this is sort of shot in autumn colors, and I mean, if I did probably edit it a different way, I could probably boost some really beautiful autumn colors out of this image, but that's just not the vibe we're going for here. We're going for dark, moody, horror vibes. So we're just gonna go ahead and just get rid of all the green and all the yellow out of the image because I don't need any of that shit. Next up, I'm gonna come into my color grading here. I like to keep it on this adjustment sort of thing where you have all the different midtones, shadows, and highlights. And obviously it's pretty self-explanatory. Each one of these little circle things is going to affect, obviously, just highlights of the image, which is mainly the sky, or like in a car, for example, the tail lights. The midtones, it's sort of like just like an overall, and the shadows, obviously the darkest part of the image. And so in our final edit here, the darkest part of the image is going to be blue. The highlights of the image are like this light sort of purple, more or less warmer, reddish sort of color. So we're just gonna go ahead and add a bit of blues into it, and then for the highlights, play on a bit of those reds. Maybe even add a bit more blue. Next, we're gonna come into our camera calibration. This is probably something you should actually do first in your image, but because I was probably born upside down, I do everything back to front. This is something I'm doing through the midpoint of my editing process. Basically, to simplify camera calibration, it is essentially how your computer is going to interpret the raw photo. If I take a picture on my camera and the camera is like, this is orange, I'm going into my computer, obviously here in Lightroom, and going, no, orange is actually more red. And then I can edit my colors from there. Now's the time this makes the biggest difference. We're just gonna come in here and just smack that exposure down. And that's pretty much it. Like I could keep fucking, you know, doing the highlights and the shadows, but that's pretty much it. One little thing you probably could do is, I'm gonna press Shift M, come into your radial filter, and I can probably draw a radial filter over here and bring some shadows up. And then what I can do is I have obviously heaps of different images here from my photo shoot. I'm gonna select a few more others here by holding down my Command key, and then I'm gonna click Command Shift S. It's gonna come up with my synchronize settings, and then I'm gonna click synchronize. And then all of my photos from the whole shoot now look like this, and I basically just go through and make little adjustments. Basically little exposure adjustments, because you know, you have slightly different shutter speeds and maybe apertures and ISOs and stuff. At least this way, your colors are the same across all of your images. And if you can't be fucked doing any of that, I do sell Lightroom presets, and they come with their own tutorials, and they come with some of my raw photos for you to also continue practice your editing on. All that good stuff is linked down in my description there if you want to download my pack. That is the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you did like this video, maybe you can leave a like down below or help us out by hitting subscribe. But with that all said and done, have a shit one, and I will see you in the next one.
Chris, mate, why is your hummus on fire? Oh my God.